this call as well. That way you guys can all watch the training afterwards. Maybe if I said something and you miss it, you can go back and watch it. I'll make sure I send you guys this recording after as well. Okay, so let's get started with the loan programs. Okay, so mortgage programs beyond the norm. These are some of our best loan programs. We have a ton, but these are the ones that I do want to highlight. So of course, we definitely do conforming and conventional loans. We definitely do FHA loans. We definitely do VA loans, jumbo loans, condominium loans. You know, those are the basic loans that pretty much every lender does. Now here in the yellow star, we have some short inventory solution loans for you guys, and I'll go into depth with each one, but we have renovation loan programs, we have delayed financing programs, we have extended rate lock programs, a 2-1 buy down, and then in this blue star, these are lead generation solutions. So programs that you can leverage to your advantage to find more clients and market those resources as well. So down payment assistance, medical doctor programs, investor cash flow programs, bank statement programs, foreign national products, and asset qualifier programs. So I'm about to go in depth on each one of these, but just wanted to give you an overall view of what we're going to see in each one, right? So starting with conforming and conventional loans, here are some basic information that you need to know for conventional loans. You do need to know as a realtor that the loan limit is at $647,200. Depending on the county you are in or the state you're in, it could be higher in other states, but basically all of Florida is $647,200. The minimum credit score is a 620. However, if you do have a client who wants to put the minimum down, they are going to have to put down either 3 or 5%. Then that's going to be a 640 credit score minimum. Okay. If you do want to go down to the 620, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are probably going to require 10, 15, or 20% down, depending on the person's assets. Now, how quickly can we close these loans? In 21 to 30 days. I mean, it really depends on the buyer's involvement. If we have a buyer who's dragging their feet, not really getting us documents, that's where you could see 30 or maybe even upwards of 30 days. But people who are salaried, who have pay stubs, easy borrowers, they're willing to put in the work to get approved. I mean, we've closed loans in 15 days. I don't want to tell you that's going to be the norm, but it's certainly doable, and we can definitely get clear to closes in 21 days as well. First-time home buyer means no ownership in the last 3 years. So if someone owned a home 10 years ago, 5 years ago, haven't owned in the last 3, they're still a first-time home buyer. So they can take advantage of the minimum 3% down, or they can take advantage of the first-time home buyer programs that we'll talk about as well. Now, for someone looking to do a second home or a vacation home, maybe they want to live there 6 months out of the year, or come visit every once in a while, and the rest of the time they'll be empty or Airbnb or something like that. They can go as little as 10% down. So that's just a drop of knowledge that you need to know as well. And investment properties, the minimum down is 15%, but 20% is better for the client as far as interest rate wise, and they get to avoid mortgage insurance as well. And then this combo bulletin point at the bottom is if you want someone to avoid a jumbo loan, but they don't want to put 20% down of $1 million or 800,000 or however it may be, we do have a combo loan where we can do first loan at 80% of the value. We'll do a home equity line or a home equity loan at 15% of the value. That way your client only gets into the home with 5% down, and they still follow the conventional guidelines. So this is just kind of some small snips of conforming and conventional loans. Moving on to FHA loans, there's a lot of agents out there that are scared of FHA loans. They don't want to accept FHA offers. So it is important to understand the differences. FHA is a phenomenal product, and it's really it's basically insured by the Federal Housing Administration to promote home ownership in America. That's the number one goal of FHA. So it is only for primary residences. FHA loans can also close in 25 to 30 days, depending on the buyer's involvement. Minimum down payment, 3.5% on FHA loans. You are not required to be a first-time home buyer for FHA. That's a common misconception. You just have to have this property be your primary residence. The loan limits do differ in Central Florida, so Hillsborough, Pinellas, Polk County, Pasco, it's 420,680. In Southeast Florida, Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, it is 460,000. So you can go a little bit higher on the 1-unit properties. If it's a duplex, triplex, or quadplex, the max loan amount increases even further. So somebody could end up getting a $800,000 quadplex with only 3.5% down. So FHA is a really, really strong product. And the number one thing that people are scared of is it not passing inspections. So if you want to know what FHA is looking for, or you have a listing and you want to know, hey, can we accept FHA offers? On my Facebook and Instagram, I posted an FHA property condition cheat sheet. And if you want a copy of this, I can also email it to you. Just let me know. But it has every single thing that FHA is looking for, and you can make sure it's going to pass those inspections. That way you can open up the kind of offers that are being accepted for any of your listings. Or if you have a property that one of your buyers is interested in, you can also take a look at this FHA condition and see if they can get accepted with an FHA offer. So just go to Sebastian Home Loans on Instagram or Facebook, and then look for the FHA property condition cheat sheet, or shoot me an email and I will send you a copy of it as well. And then same thing with VA loans. Conforming loan limit is what they follow. Minimum credit score typically is 580. The VA loans are a lot more lenient. Closing only takes about 30 days typically. VA balance, or high balance, sorry, and jumbo, you can go up to $1 million with 0% down. You do have to have a 640 credit for that, but VA loans are a great option. If the borrower has 10% disability or more through the VA, they don't have to pay the VA funding fee, and they can also sometimes be exempt from property taxes. So VA loans are one of the most powerful loans on the market. And again, same thing, a lot of realtors right now are afraid to accept VA offers. Well, I put another VA cheat sheet. So if you go to Instagram or Facebook, Sebastian Home Loans, you'll find this VA financing cheat sheet, so you can know, is this listing eligible for VA financing? Can we accept VA loans? Because right now, unfortunately, there are a lot of veterans who are not getting their offers accepted simply because people believe VA loans to be so much stricter, when in reality, they're a little bit more lenient on the borrower's qualification, but the property does have to live up to a certain standard that most of them do nowadays. So just check out the cheat sheet, or let me know if you'd like a copy and I can email you a copy as well. Now, moving on to jumbo loan programs. So jumbo is anything above 647,200, any loan amount over that, and we have jumbo loans up to $5 million. So down payment, you can do 10% down is the minimum, or if we do a combo loan, you can do 5%. Up to 1.5 million, above 1.5, you do have to put at least 20% down to be a jumbo loan. And you do need reserves. That's the big thing about jumbos. So reserves is whatever the monthly payment is, you have to have at least 12 months of it in your bank after closing. So that's what they're looking for, is that you do have reserves. Some of our investors only require 6 months of reserves. So NFM, we have 7 different jumbo investors that we work with. So we're always providing our clients with the best interest rates and the easiest path to closing. So it usually only takes 30 to 45 days to close a jumbo loan. Okay. So Monica, this answers your question. If a home is over the conventional loan limit, it is considered a jumbo loan. Okay. Next, a condo loan. So a lot of people, again, don't truly understand what it takes to qualify for a condominium. Now, condos do take a little bit longer to close, typically 35 to 40 days, because of the condo questionnaire. So we don't only have to approve the client as a borrower, we have to approve the condo association. We have to make sure that they're not under any litigation, they're not being sued. And if a borrower is putting less than 25% down, we have to verify that the condo has reserves. So when everyone hears about condos having reserves, they get a little bit nervous. They're not sure what that means. Well, it only means that at least 10% of the budget's expenses must be allocated to reserves. So the condominium has $100,000 a year in expenses. At least $10,000 must be put away every year towards reserves. If for some reason the condominium does not have reserves, then we could do what's called a limited review. And if the borrower puts 25% down or more on a primary residence or 30% down or more on an investment property, then we don't even look at the budget. We don't have to worry about reserves. Now, if a condo does have reserves, your buyer can go as little as 5% down or 3% down if they're a first-time home buyer. So it's still a great solution. Normally, condos will only be approved through conventional financing, but FHA and VA are options. It is very difficult, though, I will be honest, because they have to go through spot approvals. That means the VA has to approve that individual condo through a more extensive questionnaire process, and FHA has to go based on the unit. So only a certain percentage of the entire condominium association can be FHA. So it is a little bit tougher for FHA loans to be approved for condos. But that is a little snip on the condo side. Now, for renovation loan programs, and this is where we see our first short inventory solutions. So I just had a client who was pre-approved and they saw a couple homes. It was about a month and they couldn't find anything because they were looking for a very spacious kitchen, very open floor plan, and we just couldn't find a solution for them. So we actually ended up switching to a renovation loan where they found a home that was in a nice neighborhood. It had the right square footage, the right bedrooms, but it didn't have the floor plan they were looking for. So we changed it to a renovation loan where they can renovate the entire inside, upgrade the home, add anything they wanted to add, change the floors, cabinets, anything, and include it into the finance. So these loans typically take 45 to 60 days to close. You do need a general contractor that will submit the bid of what work will be done, what materials are going to be used, and the labor needed, because we have to approve what work will be done. So the way renovations loans work is that they write up everything they want to do to the home. They send it to our renovation loan department. We approve it. We underwrite it. We appraise the home, and then we close on the home. And then the renovations start after closing. So you as realtors, you still get paid right away. And then your clients go through the process with your contractor or their contractor to finalize all the renovations. This is a perfect solution for any borrowers you have that are looking at, homes that are run down and we can upgrade, or they found the right neighborhood or the right school district, but they can't afford a home that's turnkey, or they just can't find a home that's turnkey. Well, let's use a renovation loan and update that property, right? For any borrowers looking to add an in-law suite, maybe they need an extra space for an in-law or another family member to come, or maybe they want to rent it out on Airbnb. That's really popular nowadays. So you can definitely use this to add that to the structure. They want a 3 to 4 bedroom house, but they can only find 2, or a 4 to 2 bedroom house. Well, if you look at a renovation loan, then you can find a 2 bedroom and use the renovation to add another bedroom, right? So this opens up a whole other list of homes that you can show your buyers. And then they want an income producing property. Well, we can close on a 1 unit and turn it into a duplex or a triplex or a quadplex even. If somebody wants a pool or a garage or a basement or a fence, anything, they can add it as this renovation loan. So as it becomes harder to find, inventory and find perfect homes, let's use this renovation loan program to expand our buyers' options. Remember that you guys are showing your buyer, you want to sell your buyer the idea of what they can build with this property, right? They're purchasing a location and they're purchasing the structure. Everything on the inside of the home is up for grabs. They can change it, and everything around the home, as long as it's within their land, they can adjust to as well. So this really helps you kind of allow your clients to see the vision of what the home can be rather than what it is right now. And that's how investors look at properties, right? They see how they can what they can turn this home into and how they can make profit off of that. Well, we can do the same thing for your homeowners and show them what they can turn this home into. So it's something that they'll love living in. So this is a great solution. NFM, we have our own renovation loan department. So we have a dedicated sales staff, processing staff, underwriting staff in the renovation loan, where if somebody's interested in that, we can set up a three-way call between me, the renovation loan department, you, and your client, and then go over all the specifics and how to qualify for that program. And renovation loan need to pass 4-point inspection. That's a great question. So the renovation loans are a great solution for homes that won't pass an inspection, because we can add those repairs into the renovation budget. So that's a great question, Sophia. So yes, renovation loans, if there's something that is not ideal in the home, you can have it be part of the repair in the renovation loan. So that's a good question. And then let me move on to the next one. Delayed financing programs. This is another short inventory solution, because right now cash offers are king, but they're not very convenient, right? A lot of people that are moving in from out of state, or a lot of people getting ready to retire, they don't want to use up their cash or tie up all their cash into a home, but sometimes that's the only way to get an offer accepted. Well, a lot of people like to make cash offers and then turn around and try to get a loan really quickly, which again, if it's a clean borrower, it's something we can certainly do, but it is risky because now you don't have any financing contingencies. You don't want your borrower or your buyer, to lose their escrow. So a delayed financing program is something that you can offer your clients, where if they pay for a home in cash after closing, we can do a cash out refinance to get them back 80% of the price they paid for the home, if it's a primary residence, excuse me. So 70% for an investment home. Now, if your client, we can only give them what they put in. So if your client gets a loan, like let's say they got a line of credit on another property, or they borrowed from their 401k or from their investment accounts, and they use that cash to pay for the home in cash, well, we can still do the delayed financing, but the cash that we take out has to go towards paying down that loan. So it's still permissible as long as the cash that was used to purchase was 100% your buyer's cash. So this opens up, again, another solution for your buyers, where if they have the cash, whether it be in any sort of account, they can, write up a cash offer, get the offer accepted, and then right after closing, we can help them get their cash back. Now, I would highly, highly stress that if you want to go with this route, make sure the buyer contacts us first and I get them pre-approved before they use up their cash, because we want to make sure that they are going to be approved for the delayed financing program before we can promise that they'll get their cash back, right? We definitely want to make sure that we're all communicating effectively, we're setting clear expectations, and we do not set anyone up for failure. So that's the main thing. Okay. And it must be an arm's length transaction. So if a family member, it was a sale between family members, unfortunately, that cannot be part of delayed financing. It's one of those government rules that just gets a little bit sketchy. So that is our delayed financing program, and it's a good solution. Again, if you have any cash offers that want to be made, but people don't really want to use up their cash. Next, we have our extended rate lock program. So this is a good short inventory solution for those buyers who are interested in new construction, but maybe they don't want to wait. They're scared about what's going to happen with the market. Well, this program lets them lock today's rate and have peace of mind during the construction of their home. So the rate is locked for 6 months with an option to float down. We can extend it an extra 30 days if needed. They just have to pay 1% of the loan amount up front in order to lock the rate in. But you guys can easily use this as an advertisement, so buyers that are interested in new construction can come to you first before going straight to the builder, and then you're losing out on that commission. So the extended rate lock program is something super valuable. And it really is going to help because, as all of you know, rates are going up a lot. And the Federal Reserve is going to meet on March 17th and probably rise it a little bit more just because of inflation. So this is a good way, if you have anybody on the fence about new construction, this is a good way to, because there's so many builders nowadays, to get them to maybe get that locked in. Next, we're going to talk about our Builder 2-1 buy down program. So this is another great incentive to, again, get buyers to come to you before they go straight to the builder. So we have a program where if a builder is willing to pay what's called a buy down fee for our client, their interest rate will be 2% lower than the locked rate for the first year, 1% lower for the second year, and then it'll adjust to the fixed rate on the third year, as you can see in this example. So this helps. It's kind of a win-win for everyone because the seller paid concession that the builder has to pay is typically lower than the average closing cost incentive they offer anyway. So the builder gets to save a little bit of money, and then the client gets to save on their monthly payment. So this is another way to incentivize people who maybe aren't looking at construction. Hey, look at this. We get to give you're going to save hundreds a month in interest and probably thousands per year by using this program. And with so many builders nowadays, you can really set up your portfolio to have closings 6, 8, 10 months out. So it guarantees your income a little bit for the rest of the year. So that's another good short inventory solution. Next, lead generation solution. So we do have down payment assistance programs. We have 2 main ones that we like to recommend that cover the entire state. There are other ones that are, city specific, but these down payment assistance programs, there's a conventional one for $7,500, and then there's an FHA one for $10,000. So for anyone needing down payment assistance, you can definitely use this, and I can co-brand anything with you so you can, generate some more clients or leads. You do need a minimum 640 credit score. It takes about 30 days to close. And the income limit does vary by county and household size. So there is an income limit. People can't make over a certain income to qualify for these programs. But they must be a first-time home buyer to qualify for these. And it is important to note this is not free money. It's a second loan with 0% interest and a $0 payment, but it balloons at the end of the first loan when it's paid off. So this also works for manufactured homes if you have anyone interested in that. It's a great product, really, to, again, inspire home ownership across the state. And everyone's looking for down payment assistance. Not every lender offers it. So I'd be happy to co-brand anything with you that you need so you can get more clients as well. Next, I want to talk about our medical professionals loan program. So this is a really strong program that you can market specifically to any hospitals, doctors' offices, anything like that. It is up to 100% financing for loans up to $1 million. So any doctors of anything, doctor of medicine, doctor of surgery, doctor of optometry, ophthalmology, pharmacists, chiropractors, even vets, if they're doctors, they can put 0% down up to $1 million. And probably the best part of this is that student loans do not affect them. So student loans are excluded from the qualification criteria, and there's no mortgage insurance. Our doctor program is like one of the strongest ones. Yeah, it's super strong. It's available for it. It is not a fixed rate. It's an adjustable rate. But again, looking at all the benefits, especially for doctors coming out of residency or right out of school, this is a great option for them. So, this can definitely help you market to doctors offices, to even people, medical schools, so that way you can start building up a base so you can, get more clients from this and use this for your advantage. Next, I want to talk about our investor cash flow program, another lead generation solution. So this program is for investors who already own a primary residence. There is no employment or income verification. They qualify off of the gross rental income on the subject property. If the rental income is more or equal to the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payments of the subject property, they automatically qualify. So they do need at least 20% down. They can't have a foreclosure, bankruptcy, short sale in the last 2 years. They can close this in an LLC or as an individual. And we do have to source the assets. That is one important thing. We have to know where the funds are coming from. We do need bank statements. But at least, if you have anyone who's self-employed or just an investor that doesn't have the typical tax return income, this is a great way to help them, especially if they want to finance multiple properties, because there's an unlimited number of multiple properties, right? So typically Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, you're only allowed to have 10 finance properties at a time. If you have any investors, or even for yourselves, if you want to buy an investment property, this is a great solution, as long as you own a primary residence already. Next, our bank statement program. So this is another great lead generation solutions for borrowers who maybe don't have positive net income on their tax returns, or don't have traditional tax return income, or they are any sort of self-employed. So, barbers or hairstylists or anyone who is self-employed. We do ask for 2 years or sometimes even 1 year, if they qualify with just 1 year, of bank statements. And we look at the deposits on the bank statements and we do a cash flow analysis to qualify their income. So I had a client who owned a restaurant. Tax returns were not that favorable, but clearly we could see that his restaurant was generating between $8,000 to $10,000 every single month in revenue. We used those bank statements to help him qualify for a $500,000 purchase. So, he had gone to multiple different banks, couldn't get qualified. We used this bank statement program as a solution for him to get him in a home. So if you have anybody that who has been turned down by another lender or bank because of tax return income, this might be a good solution for them. So, it might be good to reopen up that conversation and send them my way so we can see if they qualify for this. You do need at least 10% down, which is still really good, considering what type of program it is. Usually the non-conventional programs all require at least 20 or more, but this one is pretty lenient with the down payment as well. And now our foreign national program, another lead generation solution. So with all the uncertainty in other countries right now, a lot of foreigners are looking to invest in the United States. You don't need US credit, you don't need a social, you don't need an ITN. We don't verify income, we don't verify employment. It works like the investor solution, where we look at the rent that the property will generate, and we'll use that to qualify the borrower. So you do need at least 12 months of PITI reserves, so principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and it is a minimum 30% down payment. The borrower must have an eligible visa unless they are from one of these waiver countries. And if the borrower is from Canada, they do not need a visa, they just need a Canadian passport. So I don't know if you know this, but Canada Canadian citizens were the number one foreign national buyers in the US last year. So, this is great. If you know anybody or you have family in any other countries, you could form partnerships for people looking to invest here in the States. And that's another way for you to get clients. It's another referral source. And this is a really good program where basically if people have the down payment and they have the reserves, as long as that property can generate positive cash flow, they're going to be able to qualify. So it's a really good lead generation solution for you as well. Next, our asset qualifier. So I believe this is the last lead generation solution and program we're going to be discussing. So this is really good for, again, people who don't have steady income or maybe don't have the tax returns or the pay stubs. We look at borrowers who have sufficient assets, people who hit it big with crypto, or who play in the stock market, or people who are retired and they have a bunch of funds, but they don't really have a good pension or social security or anything like that, this asset qualifier does a residual income calculation based on their assets divided over 48 months. And that's the income that we use. So another great lead generation solution. Anyone who's been turned down by the traditional mortgage rules, this is a great program for them as well. Okay, so that wraps it up on the loan program side. I do want to talk about tips and tricks to work your database and get more client referrals. So I put this quote in the top left: give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Because I do not believe in buying leads online. One, and I'm sure all of you agree, they're not the best quality. A lot of times those online leads don't even know that you're calling. So, I would say number one thing, try to avoid doing that if you can, and try to find organic leads, right? So what does that mean? That means warm referral-based leads. And how do we do that? So number one thing, that is the most important thing. When you do get a lead, you have to follow up. You have to follow up consistently. You cannot get behind the game on the follow-up, because the minute you're not following up, they could run into somebody at the grocery store that's also a realtor, and all of a sudden you've lost a client. So follow-up is the most important thing. If you do not have a good CRM or you don't want to pay for one, you have to get one, or let me know and I can make one for you using Google Sheets. So that's a lot better than Excel, because it's in real time. You can access it from multiple platforms, whether your phone or your laptop or your computer or tablet, whatever it may be. But it's always updating. That way, in Excel, you might save it, and then when you go check on your iPad, it's not there, or your phone. And so Google Sheets is a good tool if you don't want to pay for one of those fancy online CRMs. And how do we get those more client referrals? Well, you have to have active participation in your business. You have to call and text people directly. You have to build connections, right? So, posting on social media is phenomenal, but if you're not engaging in the social media, then you're not really doing the social part of it, right? You're just posting it. That's a blog at that point. So make sure that through your social media, you're commenting on all sorts of videos, you're replying to people's stories, you're making your presence known, because if you comment on a video, maybe that person won't see it, but someone else commenting or someone else viewing it, it's going to see your name on there. They're going to see the positivity that you're putting on that comment, and they'll go check out your page. So that's how you grow on social media, without having to pay for advertising. You really just have to engage and try to build as many connections with people as you can. Something else is find something you love to do and how we can leverage it, right? So think about, what did you do before real estate? Whether you were in sales or you were in another type of office job or something like that, you had certain skills. And whether it wasn't, in your professional life, think about when you were in school, what kind of hobbies did you do? Who did you hang out with, right? And go connect with those people, right? Or kind of bring back to life that passion for what you loved to do, because again, that's how you're going to connect with more people. And then, you can start a committee or start a club or anything, and bake something and take them out, or get some flyers, get out on the street. You do have to connect with people. You can join any sort of networking groups or the Chamber of Commerce or anything like that, just to get to know more people, and use your hobby to make friends, right? Because now those friends are also going to be referral partners. So anytime somebody asks them for, if they know a realtor, they're going to refer you because of the good relationship that you have. So I use this basketball and poker example because one of my agents who was new in the area did not know anybody. I mean, not a person. And he loves playing basketball. So what did he start doing? He started going to open gym, playing basketball, every 4 to 5 nights a week. And he would just meet people there. He'd start building connections with people. He'd start to see the same people over and over, and they would play basketball. Well, then he's, started inviting them all. Hey guys, I'm having a poker night this weekend. So then now he's got 5 or 6 guys who love basketball and they're playing poker. So now they have 2 things in common, and they've been able to build a relationship. And really just through basketball and poker nights, he was able to build a really good base of friends who turned into referral partners for him and just connected him to more people. It'll start to snowball, but you really have to get out there. and meet as many people as you can. And then lastly, don't just ask for the business. Make your clients passionate about sharing your awesomeness with everyone through repetitive praise. So I want to remind you guys of the power that you have as a realtor. You refer everybody to us, right? Not just the lenders, but every time you list a home, you have to refer a stager, a photographer, a moving company, a landscaper, a roofer, a painter, accountant, anything that you are referring. You have to teach your referral partners to praise your superpowers as a realtor. So if I get a lead from any of you, the number one thing I'm doing is I'm praising and edifying how great of a realtor you are and how you're going to take care of that client, because it builds a triangle of trust. It builds a triangle of trust between you, me, and the client. If the client trusts you and you trust me, they're going to trust me. But they have to see that I trust that you will take care of them as well. And the more you do this with all the people that you already refer out to, and you educate them on how to refer you back, the more that client's going to feel like, wow, I'm really working with the right person here. And again, they'll be more likely to refer you, but you do have to ask for the business. You always have to remind people, hey, is there anybody that's renting that I can help out? And ask several times. Don't be afraid to ask. The worst thing they could say is no. And then you just get to say, no worries, I'll ask you again in 2 months. Just see if you run into anybody. And just don't be afraid of no is a really good tip. But definitely leverage your hobbies, your resources, what you love to do, and the people around you to get more warm referrals. And number 3, how we can help get your clients' offers accepted. So crucial and optional tactics to present to the listing agent. I am going kind of quickly because we only have 15 minutes left, and I want to get to the Q&As if you guys have any. But these are just some tips and tricks. I have 2 more slides that can, things you can add to your offers to make them stronger. So number 1, use my NFM pre-approval letter. I'll show you an example of it next. And I'll show you why it's so different than a regular traditional, especially an online lender pre-approval. And we'll talk about that in a second. Another good tip is we can TBD pre-underwritten give approvals. So that means it is not a pre-approval, it is a full loan commitment. So we're able to close much faster at that point because all we need is an appraisal, if we don't get a waiver. But a TBD is perfect for buyers who are not in a rush. And we basically take all of their information and we submit it to an actual underwriter who reviews and gives a loan commitment. So at that point, you don't have to wait 20 or 30 days for a loan commitment. You can tell the listing agent, we're ready to go. We just need an appraisal and we can close within 2 weeks. So that is a really good tactic. If you have somebody who's been looking for a while, can't find anything, or made a bunch of offers, won't get them accepted, send them my way. We'll get them TBD pre-underwritten. The 30-second video from NFM to the listing agent selling your client, that's included in our pre-approval letters. So it's a video from me telling the agent all of the background work that we did to get them pre-approved and how we're ready to go and ready to close. So NFM has hand-picked local appraisers. So we hand select our appraisers. It gives us quick turn times and high quality guaranteed. If we ever have a bad experience with an appraiser, we have a whole panel of appraisers and a whole appraisal management company to handle that. And we can take them off our list and we can add great stuff on our list. So we're always looking to have the best of the best appraisers with the best turn times. Another thing is run the file for a PIW, right? We always run your files through DU and LP. So we'll let you know if they can get that appraisal waiver. And then just try to offer a larger earnest money deposit, right? If we know that it's a guaranteed closing, the buyer's not going to have any issues, we can offer a huge earnest money, and that way that can help your offer get accepted. This is an example of our pre-approval letter. As you can see, here's the YouTube video that we add. It's included right there in the pre-approval. We put in the purchase price and the down payment, but we also include our DU or LP findings in every single pre-approval, along with an estimate of that price range. So again, our pre-approvals are really strong. And if anyone wants to watch this video, just let me know. I'll send you the link so you can take a look at what is said in there. But I also call the listing agent anytime you make an offer. So I actually make a phone call and talk to them about why they should accept our offer and how easy it is going to be to work with us and how updated we're going to keep them along the way. So other tips on how to get your offers accepted: offer a free rent back up to 60 days with no deposit. So it does have to be no more than 60 days, just because if someone's buying a primary residence, Fannie Mae asks them to move in within 60 days. But again, you can offer a lease back for up to 59 days. You can not ask for a home warranty or appliances if they're not included in the listing, right? A lot of times agents just check that in the contract. You can put that you're not asking for it. So give the seller some money. You can offer a kicker fee if the offer is accepted early. Pay for a seller cost. Don't violate RESPA. Don't send them money for offering or accepting your offer, but rather say, hey, if you respond within 4 hours, we'll pay for the title and lien search or something like that. You can also shorten the inspection, right? Rather than doing a 7 to 10 inspection period, do a 5-day. Make sure you get your inspector on the phone and have them ready to go for the next day to get the inspection done right away. Waive all inspections. This is definitely not recommended, but if you have an investor who's going to flip the property anyway, or renovate it for the long term or anything like that, you can just waive the inspections altogether. Repairs and concessions. So there's 3 options here. Number 1, put on your contract that you will not ask for repairs and buy as is, right? So if something comes wrong in the inspection, make sure your buyer's aware that they'll have to repair that themselves before closing. Or number 2, don't ask for a single repair item less than $2,000 or any number that you and your buyer choose. Put that in the offer. Say, hey, we're not going to ask for any repairs over this amount. Or 3, just say you will not ask for more than X amount in general on repairs, right? Rather than a single repair item, say, hey, we're not going to ask for more than $1,000 in repairs if something is wrong with the inspection at all. And then the last one, have me order the appraisal on a rush within 1 business day. So right now appraisals are taking 7 to 10, sometimes 12 business days to come back. A rush appraisal will probably be between 5 to 8 days. So it is a lot quicker, but if we order it right away, we do need the client to sign their loan disclosures, but it can help the turn times be a lot quicker. And then offer to pay seller closing costs, right? That's always a really good way where you don't have to offer more and risk the appraisal not coming in, but you can still cover some of their closing costs. You can offer to pay the realtor commission or part of it, whether it be the buyer or seller's agent or both, right? If your buyer really wants to get in that home, it could be something where you offer a little bit less and offer to pay the realtor commissions. A motivational letter from the borrower or a quick video on why they love the house. The letters I have heard are not working as well anymore. The videos a little bit more, right? It's a lot harder. Like when someone texts you, it's really easy to maybe not look at that text, or if someone emails you to ignore that email. But if you have someone face to face, it's a lot harder to kind of turn them away. And hopefully the seller has some empathy and will accept your buyer's offers. But you can always, especially if you're working with me, guarantee an on-time closing. Never miss the closing date ever. We usually close early unless, again, there's some inspection items or some delays in getting the negotiations in. At that point, obviously we would have an extension, but on-time closings are guaranteed with us. And we can offer, a $500 credit if not. So those are good tactics as well, especially for sellers who have to get out of there by a certain date. Buyer's agent can offer to pay for the seller's move, offer to pay for the moving truck or moving expenses or something like that. That's a good tactic that a buyer's agent can also put as part of the offer. And then show the highest price the client is pre-approved on the pre-approval letter, so they know that this buyer is not going to have any issues getting pre-approved. But of course, make sure your buyers are okay with you sharing that information. Some more tips here. Write an escalation clause to stand out against other offers. This is a good tactic so you don't get into bidding wars. And sometimes if you miss out by a couple dollars or $1,000 or $5,000, make sure that escalation clause is in there so you don't get beat out on those offers. Have a strong earnest money and release part of it or all of it after the inspection period and review of the preliminary title report. So rather than splitting up 2 EMDs, just have one big one like we talked about. You can waive the lead-based pay contingency upfront. Sorry, that's a tongue twister there. But If it's safe to assume there's no LBP, then you can waive that contingency. You can certainly review the seller property disclosure up front and remove contingency to walk away within 5 business days. That's always a good solution as well. Make sure you discuss that with the listing agent so they're aware of it. And then lastly, waive the appraisal contingency or agree to bring an additional amount of money to make up for the low appraisal. So when you are waiving appraisal contingencies, make sure that your clients know that a lot of people freak out over offering above asking. Well, this is a good tactic that we like to show our clients. And for every $10,000 that they offer over asking, is only a $45 a month change in monthly payment. And if you look at home equity appreciation, especially here on the bottom right, you will notice that at an average of 4% return, they're making $86,000 in 5 years on a $400,000 purchase, where it's only going to cost them an additional $45 a month. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer to offer that extra $10,000, especially if it means not missing out. And offering $10,000 over does not automatically mean they need to come up with $10,000 in the difference. Remember, we work on percentages. So as you know, 20% of 400,000 is only a little bit less than 20% of 410,000. It's probably a couple $100. So for that, it's not going to be a huge difference. And then lastly, always remember we have 161 flyers that we can co-brand for you for social media and open houses. A ton of flyers, especially with all the loan programs we talked about, and anything else you may need. If you have any open houses and you want me to come, just let me know. I'll bring some mimosas and some donuts or whatever you need. Or if you just need flyers, you just need information. We can also make what's called a single property website, where it's actually a website with all the listing information on there directly from the MLS. So you can text that link in as many realtor groups that you're a part of on Facebook or anywhere else, and send it through to your whole brokerage if you'd like, and it's right there on the website. So that is, as far as the marketing part, really good solution, especially if you need to find a way to get more clients. So I kind of rushed there to the end just because we're coming up short on time. I wanted to respect all of your time. I know you guys are all super busy. But does anyone have any questions that you would like? Miriam, send you the link for what? Sorry. Okay. Oh, okay. Sophia said letters and videos are not legally allowed anymore. Wow. Okay, that's new. Well, instead of a letter and video that you are not allowed to show anymore, you can always have me call the listing agent, and I can do that for you. I don't think it's illegal to have a good conversation, right, about how much they love the home. But let's see. I'm glad you guys like the presentation. What I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna send you all a link so you can provide some feedback on the presentation. Just a short little quiz. If you can, please just let me know what you thought, if there's anything else that you would like to learn, and if there's anything, any other questions that you may have, right? Because I'm doing this just to help you guys out, help you get more clients, help you grow your business. And I really appreciate all of you showing up and definitely being a part of this. So thank you all. I recorded this whole training. I'm gonna email it to you. That way, if you want to go back and look at it, you can do so as many times as you need. But if anybody has any other questions, again, this is my whole contact information. You can text or call me. And I really appreciate every single one of you. And I'm hoping that this helps you close a deal here very quickly and very hopefully get your offers accepted as well. So thank you all for coming. And yes, I will send the slides as a PDF as well. That way you can take your time looking through it. So I'll send the video and the PDF copy of the PowerPoints for everyone. So thank you guys for coming. Does anybody have any other questions before I let you go?
Sebas, could you share that link to give you the feedback for the presentation? It was great. Thank you so much.
Oh yes, definitely will. Thank you, Sophia. Let me share it. Okay. And here is the link for anyone who can give me some feedback on the presentation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, if no one else has any questions, oh, let's see. There we go. Yeah, if no one else has any questions, you are all free to go. I really appreciate you coming. And then just be on the lookout for the email I'll send you with the recording and the entire presentation, so you can look through it if you'd like. So thank you, guys. Hope you have a great evening and hope to talk to you soon.